In this video, I'm going to show you 7 Figma apps that will help you turn your ideas into mockups in minutes, even if you don't have design skills. And I myself, I'm not a designer, but I have a lot of ideas as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a developer, and Figma is a really handy tool. And basically the way I use it is, as a developer, founder, creator, however you want to call it, as a tech founder, tech entrepreneur, whatever it is, I have a lot of ideas. I'm browsing the internet. I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So naturally, a lot of ideas come to my mind. So what I do is I open Apple Notes and I start writing a lot of ideas. I capture these ideas. And then once I get more serious about it and I'm saying, okay, maybe it's something I can use, maybe it's some internal tool I can build, maybe it's something I can do, or a SaaS or a business or whatever it is. I design it on Figma. I use it to design SaaS products. I use it to design landing page. I use it to design for clients. So again, if I have like something I want to build for a client, instead of talking back and forth, we should have a button and this and that and X, Y, and X, Y, Z. I just show them the Figma design and they say, oh, this is exactly what I want, or this is exactly what I don't want. And of course, also delegate work to communicate with developers. So the first thing I do whenever I want to start using Figma, what I'll do is I'll go and I'll find a template. So I'll go and I'll say something like SaaS Figma template. And you'll see here tons of things. If it's a landing page, you can look for SaaS landing page. I can even look SaaS Figma SaaS dashboard. And you can even see that I already looked something like this before. And you can see here full designs ready for you to just go and tweak them. And this one saves so much time. Let's pick one just for the example. So let's take one of these. It looks good. So you do like open in Figma, you pick your design. And of course, it's so much better than me just starting from zero. And it gives you kind of an idea. So if we'll take a look at this, I have a dashboard and ready to go. Like this one I can end the video and it saves tons of time. And you have also here all sorts of icons and so on. And you can go and you can change these components. And now I can start building stuff and I can start doing things like I can go and I can copy paste it. And let's say this is the home page. And then, I can change some of the things here. And the cool thing is you also have kind of a component UI. So if I take this thing and I want to have like a form in my page, I go and I copy paste it. I have already this text. Let's find a button. There is no button, but you have here a button. So I can go there was also here, but I can also add this button here. And just add some form and start designing stuff. So this is my baseline actually. So if I want something, I want to have a card, I can drag and drop it. I want to have some kind of a font, whatever it is, I can start doing this. So the next thing is, let's talk about plugins. So these plugins are some of the cool things that you'll ever see. It saved me so much time. So let's say you have an idea and it's really similar to something that you already seen and you want to design it and you want to add it to your design. Okay, so you have a template. Now let's say we want to design something that is similar to something we saw. Now let me think about some SaaS, let's say HubSpot or something. So I go here to my plugins. Let's see, let's break them down. This first one is HTML2 design. So I go in and click it. And it's opening this kind of tool. Then I'm doing like HubSpot.com. And I do import and it takes a few seconds. Now it's asking me, I don't have some of the fonts, so I'm gonna do Go. I'm gonna pick Inter as the font. It's loading a bit more, and look at this, voila! I have like the landing page of of HubSpot. Actually, like this is the landing page, and I can tweak it and I can change some stuff or whatever tool I want to build. I'm gonna change things and send it to a designer, and that's it. I have like a landing page. So this is really cool, save tons of time. After that, what we can do is I have another plugin here that you can, there is a plugin called Figma. So the first one was HTML to design. Second one is Figma to HTML with Framer. So if you don't know Framer, it's kind of a similar tool like Webflow, which I don't know Framer. It's kind of Webflow, but it's kind of similar tool to Webflow. I don't really know what's the difference. Maybe it's more lightweight. But then you can import it as is to Framer, do your changes, and you have a landing page. As well with Webflow. So you also have a similar plugin to Webflow, and you can tweak your stuff along the way. And I really encourage you, go to, there is tons of other plugins that I myself not using. This is the most useful ones that, just for building this, mockups and so on. And you can also experiment with actually copying full dashboard. So if I'm going to, I don't know, I guess some of these dashboards requiring logins, so it can be a bit more problematic, but I'll show you what we can do if we want to do something from other sites. But yeah, let's see what other things we have here. Also icons, okay? So one of the things that we need the most in terms of designs, it's icons. And I like to use two things. So we have heroicons.com. So you can just, let's say I want this icon, I'm doing copy, and then I'm going here. Okay, didn't copy. Yeah, now it copied. I'm going here and I have this simple icon. Let's say I put it here or something. I take it here and I can, do whatever I want with it. And now I have an icon. As well as if I go to plugins and material design icons, and you can see here I have, inside Figma, I can add some of these icons. And if I want some icon really quickly, either I copy or do something else. Now next, let's talk about some useful tips that you can use that will also make it even more faster to take your idea and to actually patch it up exactly like you see it in your head. So usually a lot of times what happens is you see a product and you say, wow, this is something I want to build, or something similar like that, or maybe it's a design. So what you can do is what I like to do. Let's say I want to copy Twitter or something, or build something similar to Twitter. I want to have a social media. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll screenshot and I'll paste it here just, inside. And now I can start designing stuff on top of this. So what I'll do, some of the things to do inside Figma is when you add a screen, make sure that you go to this thing and you pick a frame and you pick, let's say it's a desktop. So you go and with a MacBook Pro or something, and you put this here. Now you see that it's taking the whole window with it. So what I can now do is, let's say I want this temp, like maybe even paste it here. So I can go and I can drag it here. So let's say I liked this design. Okay, this is social media, and now I don't know, maybe I want to make it a social media for designers. So I'll go to Figma actually, and I'll put it here. I'll put the screenshot. Okay, and I'll do like, I'll do something like this. And now we have like a menu of text inside social media. And I look at it like a, Frankenstein or whatever, I don't know how to call it, but you basically take pieces from all over the internet just to get your idea into a wireframe, just to speed it out, see how it looks, until it gets its own shape, until you can design some of the things with your templates, with your things that you with your templates, with the design itself. So if you go and you use some tool and you say, oh, this is something I want, instead of, you can, of course, later go and build all these components and take this text box and these buttons and all these things and make sure that it looks similar. Or the first thing, to take inspiration, you just take patches of screenshots until it's done. If I want to, for example, in the example of the landing page, I want to have some crazy landing page. Let's say I want this hero section from ConvertKit. So I'm copying ConvertKit and I'm putting here. I put it here. Now I'm gonna click a command and the square bracket to make it move to the top. But I see that I didn't put it in the right place. So I'll just move it to the top. And look also how cool the tool is that it gives you components, actual components that you can edit. So I can go and I can edit this thing. So it's mind-blowing tool. But yeah, now I have like this, by the way, they have the same color. Same for colors. Like if I want the same color plate, I can have this and I can patch the stuff. And I can tell the designer, I want this thing with this thing and that thing. Now, instead of saying a thing and whatever it is and they don't understand, you invest an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is on this Figma using these tricks, and you can have a complete design. And let's talk about now things that you can do inside Figma that are really helpful. So obviously it's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you do it, like you can build ideas very fast. And as I said, it's a must-have skill that if serious about building ideas or software or whatever it is that you are building, you should consider learning it. But I'll give you some quick hacks that are really useful. So let's say I want to add a button with text, and let's say I want to say something like submit. So I clicked on this, add this thing, and let's say I want to have it as a button. So I'll do add auto layout. And now it's kind of giving me some kind of a layout. So then I'm going to do fill. I'm going to give it a background. Let's say I want to make it bigger or the text bigger. This is better. So you have the submit. Let's say I want to have it like that. Let's say I want to have a bit of padding. And let's say I want to have like a bold. So yeah, now I have like kind of a button. Some other things that you can do is, you see now that if I edit this thing, okay, so you see that I'm missing some of these fonts. So I'll just go with Enter for all of them. Replace, and now it gives me the fonts. If you want to use the actual fonts, you can just download them or add them to Figma. Now, you see this menu and you also see this headline. Some of these things might change. Like let's say I do a change here and I call it, I don't know, numbers instead of analytics. We see that it's not changing here and it can be a problem. So what we can do, what we want to do is want to go and we're going to check this menu thing and we want to go and click it and say create component. Now this is going to create our component. We are going to go and we are going to, let's say, move it here. And we are going to click copy and paste. So, or I'm going to click copy and I'm going to click on the desktop and paste. And now, let's say I want to change this analytics to numbers. We see that it changes everything now. Maybe this one is not changing, but because it's not a component, but let's delete this. And again, select and go to home and paste. And now if I change the logo, I don't know, I decided that it's not or I want to change my startup name, I can go to group 1. I can add here a text. My app. And I can add it to the logo section. Let's say I want to delete this one and I want to make this bigger. Great, so this is my thing, and now we see that it changes everywhere. So we don't need to, change it in all places. And that's the concept of components. So we can have tons of components that we don't need to change. If you are someone who is launching products every Monday, you can, have these templates, just design it a little bit, send it to a designer, and voila, you have like a full app. And this is the main features that I'm using, other than ordering the order of each component. Like, let's say I want this one to be on top of the other one. What I'll do is I'll do a command square bracket, back and left, and to play with him to see that it's all going well. Make sure that you're using components. Make sure that you have names for each of the components. Now this one, if I want to add a text to it, I can go and I can paste here, like, let's say submit. And this is also another useful tool that, let's make it, for sure there is a tool that is more useful, but if I go and I click also on Alt, you see that it tells me if it's in the center or not. But you can, instead of designing this button myself, we don't want to do this work. So what we'll do is, where is the text? So yeah, we'll take this. This is for that. This is for that. So we'll copy that. We'll go here. We'll paste it here and make sure that it's outside. And I can create a component, but this time, I'll do something different. So I'll create like a component. And now I'll just copy the component. Let's see if it's, no, now we see that it's a clone, but I can do like a variant. Yeah, it's not what I wanted. Yeah, I guess it is. So if I paste this one and I change this to button, anyway, I create so I create this button. Let's for now, let's say that it is repeatable, but let's say this is my design for buttons. So I'll just make it, I'll just center it. Now we see that it's in the center. I'll copy it and I'll go where I was here. I'll delete all these things. And now I have a button. Let's say I do this, and as I mentioned, you can go through and have a set of all these components. Now, final thing that is also cool. Now I want to show this to designers, to customers, especially users, and I want to show a demo. Okay, so I'm gonna invest some time in this Figma thing. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna add all the features, everything that I have in my mind, and as you can see, instead of, if you are a technical person or even no code or whatever it is, it's so much easier to drag things, do things like this, and finish with it instead of coding or whatever. And you can also, when you end it to developers, if you build it correctly, you also have this selection colors, by the way, that I didn't talk about, that you can have a kind of a plate of colors. But if you use it like that, in terms of components, it will already do it for you. But you can play with the colors here. And also, Figma used to have a feature, I think it's not working anymore, I think you need to pay for it, but you used to be able to go click here and see the actual CSS. So it can also save time for developers. If you are building this correctly, you can send it to developers, and instead of them building everything, writing everything, they can just copy paste and tweak it a little bit. So you can also have like a plugins here in terms of the code. So you can go and you can export some of these things to no-code builders. You can turn it into HTML and CSS. You see this one, and you can find all sorts of options here. And the final thing that I want to show you is the prototype. So let's say I want to show it to users and so on. And let's create another one and call this, yeah, it's important to make it organized. You copy, you paste, and let's say this is like a done page or something, right? So what we can do is we can go click prototype. We can do interactions, I think. Yeah. So I click, let's say I'm clicking on dashboard, and I'm doing here interactions, and I'm doing here navigate to and home. This is why it's important to give them names. So let's say this one is done. So every time that I'm clicking dashboard, it will go to this page. Every time that, let's add for this one also, every time I'm clicking submit, it will navigate to done. We can also add some, animations here. So you can see here, you can play with it. And now once it's ready, you click play. It opens it in a new kind of screen. And that's it. This is my app. So welcome to my app. This is a dashboard. You can see all these things. I click on my dashboard. It takes me to the home page. Pretty cool. Let's say I'm submitting some text here. I click submit and it gets me to the done page. And that's it. And you can build full logics, full workflows just with this clickable prototype. Now the final thing I want to show you is this website andro.co. That is basically a way to get art and design and illustrations. And usually you want to get something that looks nice to your app, and you want it maybe a placeholder or something just to illustrate your idea. So here you can change your colors, and you can even search. So let's say I want users. Let's see what it brings. Yeah, and you can design like cool stuff here. So if I have this one, I think there was also an option to just copy. Yeah, I don't see it now, but you can download it and you can just go and put it here. And another tool that is really cool for designing stuff is dribble.com, which essentially gives you inspiration and gives you ideas on what you can do in your app. And you can see full designs of people that design stuff. And as I said, you can use the screenshots to just copy and paste some of the things. And you can even go specific, like let's say you built an AI SaaS. So say I want to build like an AI translator. So instead of starting from scratch, I have a lot of options. So I can take a look and see what are some of the designs here, how the dashboard looks like, how they design the product. I can then go and, okay, let's say I saw here a CRM. So let's say I want to design a CRM, which is an easy example. I can see how people design their CRMs. I can go use the other tools I showed you in this video, like the HTML to Figma plugin. I can go copy tools that are similar in my niche, like HubSpot or similar tools, Salesforce, and so on, and get some inspiration. Take all these shortcuts, all these tricks that we covered, and have some, at least a baseline that we can then go either baseline for ourselves to develop, or send it to designer to refine it, or send it to a developer that will actually build the thing, or wait with it and iterate it over time and see, show it to users and so on. And that's it. That's all the tricks and hacks. And I'm sure that if you use some of this, 80%, even 2-3 of the things that we talked about today, you're gonna save so much time and build your products so much faster and be able to delegate them so much faster. All the links to some of the plugins that I'm talking about will be in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And if you have any questions about Figma or some of the things that I talked about, you can comment here, or you can reach me out on Twitter or something. I'll put a link below also. If you also need help to turn your idea into software and so on, I have like 10 plus years of experience building software, building my own software, working with clients and so on. So there is a form below that you can fill, or you can go to my main website and see some of the other resources over there that you can use to build your idea with AI, low code, no code, and also custom codes to build scalable solutions. So thank you for watching. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next time.